For more than 100 years, First Choice Bank has provided dedicated community banking to North Mississippi. The banking products and services you need when you need them. At First Choice, you're our priority. Make First Choice your choice for banking.
When people are fed, futures are nourished. They can connect with the world around them, unlock endless possibilities, and thrive. Join the movement to end hunger. Volunteer. Advocate. Donate. Go to feedingamerica.org/act now.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Well, welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon, and we have an exciting show talking about heat and, maybe triple-digit heat that could be approaching us in the extended forecast. Thank you so much for joining us here in the Room to Room Weather Center this evening as we are looking at a number of things. First and foremost here, as we kind of look out and about, one of the things that we're concentrating on is going to be that high school football game of the week. And I want to lead with that because we said it'd be straight up at 10, and I want to make sure we have the straight up at 10 numbers here. So I'm going to look on my iPad, and I'm going to figure out who won right here alongside of you so we can announce that. It has been extremely close this evening. The vote with 3,179 votes, East Webster at Biggersville. And I'm going to double check here, Mantachie at Hatley. Oops, and it shows me as voting for that. I did not actually, but 1,205 votes. It does look like by the thinnest of margins, really only about 20 votes. Mantachie at Hatley is our Mississippi Live game of the week. Man, y'all, that was as close as it could have been. I mean, those were each 34%. The other game of the week opportunity was Coffeyville at Water Valley, 2,801 votes. I mean, within about 100 to 200 votes as well. So appreciate everybody who voted there for that. And that's where we will find ourselves this Friday. And we appreciate the great support that you have given us there. Let's move on to the actual weather part of Mississippi Live Weather. Not as cool to start tomorrow morning as it was this morning, though it'll be still pretty pleasant. But those temperatures are heating up a lot going forward, so enjoy it while it lasts because the warm-up is really beginning to take hold. We're back in the 90s for a lot of spots during the day on your Wednesday. We do expect that the temperatures could reach near the triple-digit point in the region as we go into next week. A big wave of heat building in and taking hold for quite a while. So as we look at the first 12 here for a moment, you'll notice that, again, we're still upper 60s at 11 o'clock, going to 66 by 2 a.m., 63 by 5 a.m., and probably somewhere in the neighborhood around 61 degrees or so for low temperatures on your early Wednesday morning. And in a lot of ways, the last of these cool sort of days for a while as we really heat things up. Outside right now in Oxford, we're 72 degrees, so a little warmer than a few other locations at this time. It feels like temperature coming in about 75 and that dew point and low 60s. So relatively drier air out there. But if we can touch that for a little bit, of course, we get a thick dew from time to time. We might also get a couple patches of fog if that wind stays calm out there. Probably more the exception of the rule than the rule. That's a line I've used a lot lately. Ultimately, a few of us might get it, not an everybody thing. You can see 72 right now in Macon. Fairly clear skies with a few stars actually showing up there in Aberdeen. One of our cool locations coming in at 66 at this time. The dew point at 66, meaning it's more likely at that spot to possibly see a little bit of that fog try to form by early tomorrow morning. Temperatures coming in 75, as you can see in Louisville. So we just have these spots very near the Mississippi-Alabama state line where we have some of those 60s out there. 66 in Amory, 66 Columbus, 69 for Red Bay, and 66 in Iuka. But still some mid-70s out here for locations in the Delta. And this is the change of the last 24 hours. As you can see, the better part of almost 15 degrees for a lot of locations out that direction. So certainly you can see where the moisture is more available, because that is what's holding these temperatures up, working to hold them up a little bit more tonight. Look at the latest on Mississippi Live Weather Radar. Nothing to really track at this moment here across the northern part of the state. We do have a couple little showers down here south of Jackson, but that is about it. As we talked about, those largely falling apart. A few showers down in the Gulf of Mexico, but again, those a non-factor. A few showers back to the north and west, but long distance away how we have to look toward our next front. As you can see, while still generally moving our direction, 700 miles away, and it probably stalls somewhere up here for locations back out onto the plains. So that leaves us again with a pattern that remains relatively dry. I do want to check the satellite perspective, the infrared satellite, just in case we can kind of see some additional clouds that maybe have tried to develop so far. But yeah, across the region, just the leftover clouds. That's all we're kind of seeing where my mouse is pointing out there. It's just kind of leftover what we'll call convective debris from some of the showers we had earlier on today. So again, staying dry into tonight as you would expect, and that bit of leftover cloud cover slowly going away over the next couple of hours here as we get you set up there 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. We're dry for Mississippi Live weather this morning. Of course, our meteorologist Maggie McCauley will have updates starting at 6:30 a.m. You know, she's live every morning, 6:30, 7, and 7:30 a.m. to get you out the door with, as you can see, what will be primarily just a little smattering of cloud cover, any meaningful rainfall down in the southern part of the state. In saying that, 9 o'clock in the morning, we'll bring in a little closer, and we will break this down in a lot more detail here in a few minutes. This does try to depict just a few little sprinkles. Now, what this is that is probably assuming that with just enough moisture out there, we might have a few patches of fog for early tomorrow. So I don't think we're talking meaningful moisture out of that. That'd be more of a wish cast, but we do need the rain, so I wouldn't be turning it down personally. 62, we're looking at 6 a.m. for that temperature to begin the day, 73 by 9 a.m., 85 by noon, and while we show upper 80s out there by 3 p.m., some locations probably topping the 90-degree point. In fact, probably a lot of locations topping the 90-degree point. Those winds remaining fairly calm as high pressure largely remains in control. So coming up here in the next 60 seconds, we will look at the temperature trend that really does build going forward. We'll look at weather watcher pictures, and we'll also break down, of course, just how high the heat is going to build. If you missed it off the top of the show, we do have a winner for our Mississippi Live Game of the Week. That, of course, is Mantachie at Hatley, a very close call over East Webster, Biggersville, less than 30 votes separating those two, and appreciate everyone who voted for that. In 60 seconds, your forecast right after this.
At Bulldog Burger, we take the burger game to the next level, like the Freshman 15, stacked with panko fried mozzarella. Unleash your appetite. Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lobhon.
Well, welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lobhon. Beautiful shot coming in from Connie and Fulton with that almost completely full moon that we have out there. Just that little mix of cloud cover sent in. We appreciate all of our weather watchers' pictures. The weather, pretty nice out there, obviously, today. Certainly, it is going to get a lot hotter, and we're going to be wishing for more clouds. Again, appreciate all of the folks there for sending in your photographs. And appreciate you watching us here in the Room to Room Weather Center this evening. A pickup forecast for tomorrow, expecting that to be around 62 degrees. Will be 89 by the time we drop off the kids tomorrow afternoon. So obviously, if they're out there at the bus stop for a long period of time, that might be a little cool. There's not much wind movement to add a little kind of more of a chill to it. But certainly, they might be a little cool with the short sleeves. They'll need it in the afternoon, so maybe a light jacket. I'd say possibility for some folks. The temperatures, though, go up from here. I mean, we were 88 degrees for the high today. We'll be 91 on the average tomorrow. Some spots maybe just a little bit cooler than that. In the mid-90s Thursday, Friday, and the weekend. And yeah, really starting to head up as we look into next week. I have some locations where my projections are trying to go practically to the triple-digit point. We'll see as we get a little bit closer to that. The weekend forecast, again, mid-90s both days. We're keeping things dry as summer is surging back and returning and making to where it will definitely be getting a bit hotter by the time we get into the extended forecast there. So for folks looking for some bonus lake weekends this year, I think we definitely have one of those on the way as we're dry and in a lot of ways perfect for that. We showed this before the break. Notice how cloud cover depicted here, a few bits getting somewhat thicker off the delta area, but as these bits of cloud cover try to roll into the hills, the Futurecast does kick out just a couple little showers, honestly. I don't think we're seeing much here, but I think maybe this is more a sign of just some fog out there that could disrupt the morning commute, maybe extend it just ever so slightly. So our meteorologist, Maggie McCauley, will be watching that starting at 6:30 a.m. and then, of course, 7 and 7:30 a.m. live here on Mississippi Live Weather in the app. So we'll go 64, as you can see, Grenada, 65, that beginning temperature in Greenwood, but still some low 60s out here near the Alabama state line, including 59, though, our coolest spot there in Red Bay to start your early morning on your Wednesday. As we go through the day, again, temperatures will eventually be building some, but as you can see, the low temperatures, while they go up, they don't go up as such an extreme value the way the high temperatures will. So I think that's a sign that we don't have a lot of significant lower level moisture, so the stickiness factor isn't quite there. It's one of the things that hopefully helps us as far as heat advisories and excessive heat warnings are concerned in the extended forecast. Typically for those, you would look to see more moisture. We're not really sure that's going to necessarily verify to really push those over the top. As we go through your Wednesdays, you can see our Futurecast. Again, cloud cover, it depicts just the littlest of sprinkles out there, but most of us should be pretty dry. Widen things, you'll notice. High pressure is the story. Back out there toward Dalton, Georgia, you just even kind of see, just looking at what we call the streamlines. That's what these lines are here moving in from the north. That is that drier air building in. Well, we do have some showers back out toward Oklahoma and Kansas back there. Those are closer to our nearest front, a front that is not getting here, not getting anywhere close to here. Well, I mean, it depends if you consider up here toward Kentucky close or Illinois. As far as cold air goes, that's close, but not close enough, right? So as we go throughout your Wednesday, more storms most likely back to the north and west, closer to that complex. If we bring it back in here to North Mississippi, we do depict a couple little sprinkles. That's why our rain chance doesn't drop to 0. But in the latest version here of Futurecast, our HRRR model that we like to look at this time of night, you can see don't have anything of substance out there and could be probably overdoing it a little bit, showing those rain chances. So notice 91 in Tupelo, but 94 degrees out there in Greenwood, about 92 Cleveland, 93 in Clarksdale, but upper 80s in the far northeast portion of the state, only 88 in Boonville and 87 degrees in Red Bay. Looking at the heat index, notice how we didn't add. In fact, in some cases, we removed the temperature and dropped it just a little bit. The reason for that is when you have drier air, your body's cooling system, the natural one, works effectively. We sweat. We sweat to cool ourselves off. That sweat appears on you, and if it can evaporate, it's removing heat from your body. Because essentially it has to, in order to change it from the liquid that is the sweat bead on you to the gas that is water vapor, it has to remove heat from your body, and that removal process is what cools you down. So when it's slightly drier, our body's cooling system actually works the way it's intended to. So that's why the heat index, believe it or not, just a little bit less than the actual temperature for some spots tomorrow. Now looking at Futurecast, and again, this is, I believe, our HRRR model. So the very latest version, 0Z, the one that came out just a couple hours ago on our extended here, does depict a couple little sprinkles near toward Tippah County and up closer to Corinth. I left this percentage off of the forecast just because I'm underwhelmed, and we've just been so dry lately. So, hey, here's praying for it, here's hoping for it, but I wouldn't be counting on those little showers trying to make their way in. But again, partly cloudy, and we do have, again, a couple of these sprinkles getting closer out here toward Itawamba County, back toward Florence, up toward Boonville by early Thursday morning. So what gives? So we have just this little kind of wave that's running ahead. You can kind of see one there and the one kind of back there. as those waves kind of translate eastward, they produce just a little bit of precipitation with them. So here is hoping that there's enough lift there, but I just don't think we probably have enough moisture to really make it something meaningful. So this is something Maggie will be looking at tomorrow morning with the very latest data. Here's hoping that this still shows up there because we need the rain. But even in the best case scenario, this is very spotty. And on our scale, this is very light. So yeah, I'm hopeful, but I'm not counting on it. So Jen, some clouds, maybe that'll hold temperatures down a little bit because we can get that sometimes. What little rain is trying to fall can do that. But you can see mostly the partly cloudy skies developing with those kind of puffy cumulus clouds in the afternoon, trying to build a little bit. But as you can see, that batch there from Oxford toward around Water Valley, depicting just a few sprinkles. So you know what? Oh, I can't put in a 20% coverage yet. I was about to just go ahead and change the forecast on the fly. I think it kind of convinced me because we had some earlier on. I'm just not 100% convinced on that there. But at least there's some indications that perhaps we can weasel in a little bit of a rain chance. 95 in Greenwood, that high temperature on Thursday, as well as in Grenada. We're 94 Tupelo and Amory, 89 Red Bay. If we can have a couple of those showers hopefully pop up, maybe this holds temperatures a little bit cooler because we look at the heat index, we still have, again, the difference there. So I want to go back here for a moment. This is the temperature. Again, expect to be somewhere lower middle 90s. And notice the heat index is showing up drier. That means we have dry air. So we can't have all three of these things, right? We can't have dry air. We can't have temperatures just as hot. And we can't have rainfall. So at this point, I'm betting on the heat and the dry winning, because that is certainly what we've mainly had happen this fall, and typically what happens in fall anyway. 62, that temperature at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. or so. Our meteorologist Maggie McCauley again, maybe some patches of fog out there early. We're 85 by noon and 88 degrees with dry conditions by 5 p.m. tomorrow. All those soccer games, or I guess tomorrow would be church, looking like it's in pretty good shape, but still a little bit warm. Well, that was a new one. My stream went down for one reason or another. Anyway, we're back. There's only a few moments. Let me think if I can revert my brain to what I was going to say. Either way, hot. As you can see, dry Friday, Saturday, and into Sundays. We look toward the weekend forecast. And yeah, I'm mid-90s looking toward next Monday and Tuesday. I think you get just beyond that. Closer to Wednesday, I have a lot of projections, 98, 99-ish degrees. So looking like we're really in a hot pattern through next week, unfortunately. So yeah, if you're looking for relief, don't have a lot of that on the way. Tomorrow morning, enjoy that 62. There aren't a lot of those still coming up ahead. Of course, our next live broadcast is going to be coming up tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. We'll also have live shows coming up at 7 a.m. and 7:30. All three of those with our meteorologist, Maggie McCauley. And yeah, I think she'll be looking at whether or not we're able to kind of pull off some of those rain chances. I'm hopeful. I can't necessarily say I'm confident. And we'll bring it back here for just a moment. Of course, she'll be in the Room to Room Weather Center, and we're in that this evening. I do want to just kind of look through some of your comments here on Facebook, on Instagram, and just kind of see what we, or not, well, I guess Facebook and YouTube here, just see if we've kind of missed something. A lot of folks looking for Mantachie and some of those other spots. Anyway, sorry, I was looking at something there. Patty, looking here. Anybody get 2 notifications? I hope I didn't give 2 notifications. That wouldn't be good. Interesting. Some folks getting 2 notifications. I bet you're getting a notification if you subscribe to us on on YouTube. And we appreciate all you for doing that. You know, if you subscribe, I think you get a bing when that happens, but you also get a notification from us when we do go live on the app. We try to send out a notification to let folks know that that's what we're doing. So that might be where that dual notification is coming from there. Appreciate Ayuka. And yeah, that's right, Ricky Oswald. Green spots on the radar. Anytime that's the case, we're happy. I'm just not terribly confident on that. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, just Brenda there on YouTube. I think the reason you're getting 2 notifications is because you're getting the one from subscribing and then probably one from the app as well. Well, we also have 2 YouTube channels, so maybe that's what it is. Anyway, appreciate y'all watching and supporting us. Like and subscribe on all those different platforms. It certainly helps us out. We'll be trying to get those pictures for Cheer, Spirit Squad of the Week for Mantachi and Hatley, as well as Band of the Week for Mantachi and Hatley. So be looking for those. And thank you for watching us here on Mississippi Live. I think we might also get another little high school preview for a different football game from our Will Kohlmeyer tomorrow on his Kohlmeyer's Corner. Look for that, of course, as we go into the day as well. So lots of fun things happening. Thanks for supporting us, and y'all have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Community is the way we find our strength and share our hope. It's the way dinner on the table brings a family closer together. It's the way we make sure his first chapter book is the first step on his path to greatness. It's the way we rally in hard times and rise back up stronger than ever. United is the way we come together so everyone can thrive. Join us at unitedway.org.